Hi, my name is Nipun Ramakrishnan, and this is my first video in this video series that will teach you the fundamentals of computer science. And before I get started, I'm going to talk a little bit about me. I'm a second-year student at UC Berkeley studying electrical engineering and computer science. I actually started programming this summer before my freshman year of college, and some cool courses I took at Berkeley that really inspired me to kind of teach this course and kind of hopefully inspire you guys about programming is one course was CS61A, which was the intro course at Berkeley for computer scientists people who want to study computer science. I put it in quotes because it was really not much of an intro course because they went straight into it. And the next course I took was CS61B, which was a data structures and algorithms course. Very cool course. And then I took a CS70 course, which is more of a mathematical look on computer science. Taught us some methods in discrete math and probability. I also took some E courses that were really cool. Also, quote-unquote intro courses. And then one of the coolest courses I took at Berkeley was actually a really small course called CS370. And I took it just for fun, and it was Intro to Teaching Computer Science. And it really opened my eyes to many of the problems that computer science education faces today. And a lot of people don't have access to it, diversity problems, and I wanted to make this video partly because I really feel that anyone who's interested in computer science should have the ability to have resources that basically teach them the concepts of computer science. And I feel like also anyone who's interested or just wants to learn about computer science, they should have free access to these types of videos. So, a little bit more about this video series. I want to share some of the amazing things I learned my first year at Berkeley. It was a really good year for me, and I really enjoyed learning about computer science because it's so cool. And also another thing I learned is while taking the CS370 course, I really realized that I love teaching computer science. And again, I'm doing these videos because I love teaching this material, and I'm happy to answer any of your questions. I love explaining things. People have told me that I'm good at explaining things, so hopefully you guys also think that. And I really, at the end of the day, I believe, again, that anyone should have the opportunity to learn computer science if they're interested. And this video series is going to be split into two parts, which I'll talk about a little more. And lastly, in my experience, when I first started learning how to program the summer before my my freshman year of college, it was quite late, but when I was first starting out, I didn't really find a lot of online videos that were very accessible to me, because a lot of these online courses, they're taught by experts, and there's a gap of understanding between experts and beginners, So as a student who's recently just been a beginner and kind of grown and seen the things I struggled on in these intro courses, I feel like I have a better way to reach out to students who want to learn computer science and kind of walk them through the things that I struggled a little more carefully. So also, one thing I don't like is I feel like a lot of computer science courses just run through things. Like things like Code Academy, they just run through examples. They don't emphasize the connections of the material. They don't stress the applications of the material. And I think that's super important when you're learning computer science. And it's also what makes it so amazing and fun when you realize what those connections and applications and why it's useful. Because why the hell would I learn something that's not useful at all? So. And now a little bit, I mentioned that this course is split into two parts. The first part of this course is an introduction to programming paradigms, and this is largely based on the CS61A material from Berkeley, but it's a little bit more of my perspective on it. I took this course, and I figured I kind of have been thought about it a lot, and I think there are some parts of the course that are more interesting than others, and I will share those parts with you. So obviously it's a little biased towards my opinion, but I still hope that you'll find this course super interesting. And for those of you who are really interested, you can always go online and see this material, although it is going to be a little more intense than this video series. So the programming language we're going to work with is Python 3, and this is a very cool language because it has a huge community. A lot of people love it. I love it, for one, I can definitely say. And one of the cool things is it's a great language to start off with because it's a very simple language. A lot of it is actually quite like English, and you kind of just tell the computer what to do, which is very cool. And this first part of the course is going to focus on really the big ideas of computer science. Problem-solving techniques, abstraction, managing complexity. These are things that computer science do on a daily basis. And we'll really take a deep look at these ideas, and I'll be stressing them throughout the course. There's also a second part to this course, and this is more of the advanced programming ideas. So once you get past the first course, you'll have a pretty strong fundamental base in computer science, and then we get into a little deeper into the material. And this is going to be based more on the 61B material of the Berkeley course, and the programming language we're going to use is Java. Java is also a great language, has a huge community, and it's also, if you're ever going to go out and hopefully maybe pursue a job, a lot of the interviewers are going to expect you to know Java or C++ or one of those big programming languages. And the Berkeley course, 61B, it's called Data Structures and Algorithms, but I really think the course should be named Clever Solutions to Difficult Problems, because that's really what this course is about. It looks at ways to do things faster, more efficiently, and we're going to take a look at data structures. I haven't talked about them. I will talk about them in the second part of this course. Managing large programs, algorithms, writing efficient programs. That's very, very important. And these are all topics we'll talk about in the second part of this course. And I don't want to focus too much on it right now because you got to get through the first part of the course first. So let's start with a very open question. What do computer scientists really do? Some people think we stare at ones and zeros all day, and I'm going to thankfully say that that's not true. In my first year at Berkeley, I've yet to stare at a single 1 or 0 in this form, because that would suck, honestly. Like, okay. Then I feel like another big misunderstanding is like, hey, we just learn programming languages, and that's all we do. But in reality, the programming language of a computer science uses is just a medium to work with the computer in a way that we understand. So in reality, the number of programming languages that you know doesn't mean anything in terms of how good of a computer scientist you are. You might hear some people out there say, hey, I know 9, 10 programming languages. Doesn't really matter. If you don't know one of them really well, it really doesn't matter. So one thing that my Berkeley professor for 61A, Professor John Denaro, really stressed was like, hey, if you know one programming language really well, you can pick up any other programming language very fast. So in this course, I'm not really going to focus too much on programming languages. I'm going to focus on the big ideas of computer science and why it's useful and the applications and the connections. So the real answer to the question, what do computer scientists do? At the end of the day, we are problem solvers. And there are a lot of problems out there that we can solve with computers, and it's really cool. Even a simple problem that you wouldn't expect computer scientists to know how to solve, such as this particular drawing. My question to you is, do you think it can be drawn without picking up your pencil? So take a moment to think about that. I'm going to spoil the answer in 3, 2, 1. Turns out that you can draw this without picking up your pencil, and there's a particular reason you can because of the computer scientist. It's actually a field known as graph theory. Very cool stuff, but it actually has to do with computer science. And a lot of people wouldn't expect that, but that's just the way it is. One of the cool problems we can solve. And at the end of the day, one of the best things computer scientists are good for is that we can manage large amounts of things. Large amounts of data, we can do analysis on them. Computers are very good with numbers, better than humans, and that's very useful in this day and age where we have so much data from a lot of different things. So you almost always need computers to do this. And then also really cool stuff like Google's self-driving car. The problems that Google computer scientists were trying to solve, is like, hey, can I make a car that's self-driving that can be just as good as a human, or if not better? Like, these are the questions that Google computer scientists and engineers try to solve when they're building the self-driving car. And there's a lot of computer science behind this. And this field is actually called artificial intelligence, which is one of the biggest fields of computer science, and also some of the most exciting. Daily things we use, such as Google and Facebook, they're full of computer science. For example, let's take a look at just a Google search. and some of the cool things you can do with that. So let's say I just go to Google, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type, let's see what Google thinks. What do computer scientists do? Computer science. Hey, that's pretty cool. I didn't even need to finish my sentence, and Google already knew what I needed. So that's pretty cool. And how does Google do this? Computer science. The computers need to figure out, hey, and the questions we're trying to solve right now is like, given a particular input into a text field, hey, what are the possible outputs that someone wanting to do a search could get? And these are the problems that computer scientists, again, solve. So that's pretty cool. So let's go back to this presentation. And again, Facebook is also very similar. We ask ourselves, hey, how many friends do I have? Or who are the people I could know? Who are the people I could connect with? These are all questions that Facebook computer scientists have to think about when they're designing Facebook. So computer science is all around us, and that's something that blows my mind every day. With the technology we use, there's so much computer science behind it that most of us don't even understand. And if we do understand, that gives us a lot of knowledge, about how things work. And I think that's super important when you're learning anything. So who should watch these videos? Honestly, I really believe that anybody who's interested in computer science should watch these videos, because you will learn a lot, and I will try my best to make the material accessible and fun and interesting. And you don't have to have any programming experience. I'm going to assume that you have no programming experience. We're going to start from scratch and really build our fundamentals and learn some very cool things. And honestly, even if you are looking at this video and you have like 5 years of programming experience, you might learn something new, because I'm going to be bringing you the more Berkeley side perspective of computer science, and the way we teach computer science is a little different from most computer science courses, and I think it's, in my personal opinion, obviously I'm biased, I think it's better. So, very cool stuff. This is the end of the first video. So the next video, I'm going to do something very exciting, and we're going to go through our very first example of some of the cool things you can do with some very simple ideas in computer science. So, thanks.